Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to add a zipper to turn your sweatshirt, your regular sweatshirt, into a zipper sweatshirt like this one here, just by adding the zipper and after you do your embroidery and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna just put that off to the side. I did already embroider my design. I did an applique, but without any fabric or HTV. So let me get that off the machine. And this is how we're looking right now. So if you notice with these particular jackets, if you're adding a zipper, you have to digitize it for your zipper. So as you can see, there is a slight opening in here. So I like to measure mine based on the zipper that I'm using, which is usually pretty much the same because I use these large separating zippers. And so you want to make sure if you're digitizing it that you put that space in there, or let your digitizer know that it needs to be a space in between whichever letters that you're wanting to put the space in between. Okay, so I need to take this all off, and then while I'm getting this all cleaned up, I'm also going to go over all the supplies that you'll need. So of course I use my 8x13 Mighty hoop. So you'll need your sweatshirt, t-shirt, or whatever it is that you're using, a hoodie, and have your design on there, whether you do embroidery, whether it's vinyl, whether it's DTF, or whatever you're using. And then you'll need some clips or pins, straight pins, whichever you prefer. You're going to need, well, depending on the length of the zipper, you'll need some pliers, and you're going to need, no, you probably can't see these, but there's some very little zipper closures for the top of the zipper, because the zipper that I'm using is much longer than my sweatshirt. So I'm gonna have to cut it down, and I'm gonna have to put these little clamps at the top of the zipper so my zipper pull doesn't go flying off. Okay, and actually I couldn't decide whether I was going to use a hot pink because it matches my sweatshirt perfectly, or light pink. So I think I'm gonna go with the light pink, because I did use a light pink thread, but it actually looks white. So, but I still just kind of want to have that contrasting color look. And so you will need a separating zipper, jacket zipper, whatever you want to call them. So it is going to have to separate and come apart, okay, for you to turn the sweatshirt into a zip up sweatshirt. And these zippers, they come in all different colors and sizes, and I normally when I'm in downtown LA, I'll just get a bunch of them, or I'll order them from Amazon as well. So you can get them like in solid black, you can get them with gold detail, and I really love like these different kind of two-tone colors with different colors in there, stuff like that I just like to play around with. So you can have fun with these sweatshirts, kind of style them up with a cute little matching zipper, or do one of these two-tone zippers, or whatever you prefer. You'll also need some tailor's chalk, a chalk pen, a heat erasable pen, or something like that as well. You will need a ruler, and you're going to need some scissors also. So let me just clean this up. So I didn't want to fully stitch out the design on camera because I knew it was going to take a long time. Well, not a long time, but it would just make the video longer. So I decided, let me just go ahead and stitch it out, and then we'll start from the next step. So I'm gonna just get this cleaned up really quick here, just get this stabilizer off, and then I'm gonna grab my lighter so I can get the extra threads that are still sticking out, get those off. All right, and let me just grab my lighter, or you can use some snips, and this is just to get those stitches, those start and stop stitches, and get that all cleaned up, and we are good to go. Okay, so right now this is how our sweatshirt is looking. Okay, let me move my mighty hoop out the way. Get this stuff out the way. And so what I like to do is lay my sweatshirt out, kind of just flatten it out, straighten it out with my hands. You don't have to necessarily press it, iron it, heat press it at this point. Now, if I did applique fabric in here or HTV glitter, I would definitely press it and then do the next step before you put your zipper on. And so next, let me grab my ruler. Grabbed a couple actually. And I like to put my ruler right in the center so I can find exactly where I need to mark my line. So this is going to be very important because if you don't get it right in the center, your zipper is going to be a little bit off. So this part, take your time, line everything up. So I have my ruler and I see where right in the center, and I see where I need to mark it. So I'm gonna grab a piece of my tailor's chalk and I'm just going to mark a line right above that, and then I'm gonna follow that line to draw my center. And so I'm gonna just line it up with that. And you wanna make sure your ruler is coming all the way down because we're cutting all the way down the shirt or the sweater. And I'm just lining that up, making sure that looks nice and straight. And then I'm gonna just do a chalk line all the way down. All right. And that is that. That's probably what's going to take the longest, finding your center point. Actually, the embroidery will be the longest. Putting on the zipper is very, very quick. And once I get everything lined up, we'll go to the other room, to the sewing machine, and I'll show you how I stitch everything on there, as well as do the top stitch. And let me get my clasp out the way so I don't lose them. Okay, now we have our center marks. I'm gonna go ahead, take my scissors, and I'm just gonna cut right on that line straight up, okay? And you don't have to worry about the chalk or anything showing. With the tailor's chalk, you can always erase it after the fact, but it's going to actually be tucked in once we do that top stitch. So however, whatever you mark it with, you're not going to be able to see it. It's not going to show. And another question I've had, because I had a ton of people reach out to me, both on YouTube and TikTok, asking me how I attach the zipper. Okay. So another thing is that you can serge it. If I would recommend serging it, or using your overlock machine if you're going to be selling these. Now, once you put the zipper on and do the top stitch, it's not going to unravel. It's not going to, shred or fray or anything like that. But when I make mine for a customer, I like to use my overlock to give it that professional finish look. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm not going to do that, but just letting you know that is an option. Okay, so we have our zipper. This is the front. The teeth are showing on the front, and then we have the back. We're going to take the teeth side down and put that onto your sweatshirt. Okay, and remember that this is going to be important. You want your teeth side down. That will actually be showing facing down. Okay, and then this is where I will grab my clips. And if you're not sure, you can kind of look at it and then kind of flip it, and you'll see, okay, I have it the right way. But make sure the teeth are facing towards your sweatshirt. That is very important. If you do it the other way, well, you're jacket's gonna zip up from the inside. You don't want that. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start clipping it, and I'm just going to line it up on the edge and just clip away. Or if you prefer to use pins on this part, use pins, whatever makes you most comfortable. And I've seen some people that just kind of leave it like this. They don't even measure, they just kind of cut it and sell it like that. So that's another thing you could do. You could also, I've seen, and actually Denise in the Facebook group, she did one with some snaps instead of a zipper. So there's a lot of things that you could do with it. You could also do it like using some garments and then using some chains. And then you could kind of use chains going across. I'll do another video showing you, or do a short showing you what I'm talking about, because I did make one like that. I just haven't posted it yet. But go ahead and just clip in or pin all the way up. That way your zipper stays in place and does not move. And again, you could buy a zipper that is the exact length. I just normally, especially when you're in downtown LA, like I just grab stuff and just buy it. And so whether or not I use it or when I use it, you know, who knows? But the size really, the length does not matter for the zipper, long as you have, and I really can't show these. I'll do a close-up at the end, but they're just like these, well, I almost lost it, just these little zipper stops, and it just curves, and you just, I will use my pliers to put it on there at the end. So again, my zipper pull does not just fly off. All right. So now I have my zipper in place. I have my clips and I'm good to go. So we're going to go ahead and go over to the sewing machine. And actually what I'm going to do, which I probably should have did this at first, but hey, it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and just separate it. And that way, and just clip this on, and that way I could just get it all done at once. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip this, and then I will meet you over at the sewing machine so I can show you the next step. Okay, so let's do this. So I have everything clipped on both sides, so I can go ahead and knock it all out. I do have my zipper foot on. That is very important. You want to make sure you switch to your zipper foot, okay? And I am going to start, let's see. Let's start on this end. And just finding my foot down there. Is it me, or like, can you use your presser foot with your shoes on? Like, I always have to take my shoe off. I don't know if it's a me thing or if other seamstress or sewists do the same thing. But yeah, whether I have on flip-flops or shoes or whatever, I cannot put a shoe on my pedal. But maybe that's just me. Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna do a straight stitch all the way from one end to the other. We're also going to do a back stitch at each end as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that first clip off, get everything lined up where I need it to be, and take that clip off and start sewing. Again, we're gonna start with a back stitch. All right, and we're just gonna go straight down. And take your time. I know a lot of people think working with zippers is intimidating. I love working with zippers, and I'm just gonna lift my foot up so I can move the pull back. If I can get it back, let's see. Maybe I should do it like so, like that. Nope, it's not going. Give me one sec. There we go. Okay, I just like to get that zipper pull out the way. And then I'm gonna let my foot back down. But working with zippers is not hard at all. You just wanna make sure you have your zipper foot on there. I pretty much go back and forth between my zipper foot, my regular foot, and my walking foot. Couldn't think of the name of it. So those are the three that I pretty much use on a regular basis. But for this, you definitely want to use your walking foot. Now this zipper is pretty wide, so actually my regular foot would have worked for this, but I just prefer to use the zipper foot. All right, so I take that clip off, and as I'm taking the clips off, I am just holding it down just to make sure that nothing shifts or anything like that. And again, if you want to serge it after you do this part, then you can go to your overlock and serge the ends of it. But I'm making this for me, so I'm not gonna do that. And then I'm just gonna hold the end down, or you can use a stiletto if you're like me and get nervous about your finger getting too close. Then just use that stiletto. Now when you get to that seam, especially by the neck, you may have to kind of push or either pull it a little bit, just because you're going through multiple layers. All right. And so we got the first half done, and I'm gonna just cut my thread. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do my top stitch now so I can show you that, and then I'll do the other side, then I'll meet you back at the table. So for the top stitch, so this is how it's going to be looking. So when you open it up, it's kind of going to stick out like that. And this again is the part, if you want to serge it, you would take it to your overlock and serge it. And I would suggest doing it with your knife off. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting away additional material. So I would not use it with your knife on. Okay. And so then what you're going to do, you have your zipper, you're just going to fold it back. Now, if you're worried about your seams, you can definitely take them to your ironing board and press them. But for this particular material, because it is stretchy, it's going to be pretty easy to keep it folded. If it was like cotton material or something like that, I would definitely say go ahead and actually let me move my foot to the other side, or slide my little guide over. Okay. Then I want to put that right there. So I want it, well, not right on the edge, because it still have a lot of room to work with. So I'm gonna move it over a little bit. And I want to say that's almost about a fourth or so. And then I'm just going to do that back stitch, and then I'm just going to stitch all the way the entire length, and then I'm just folding over, making sure it's folded over, and I'm holding it in place to make sure it doesn't come undone. And then I'm just going, and again here at the bottom you're going to get to that seam, so again just hold that down, use your stiletto or a pair of scissors. Don't cut your garment, but just to hold that in place or kind of help push that through. Okay, and once you have that through, then I'm gonna go ahead and move my zipper now to the end, kind of just folding a little bit at a time, and I'm just gonna go right through. And another thing, I am using a matching color thread. My bobbin is not a matching color. Again, it's for myself. If you're making it for someone else, I would definitely suggest having your bobbin be the same color. Right now, mine is just black, but I'm like, hey, who's gonna see it besides me? And then I will show you how that looks in just one moment. And as you can see, this process is not long at all. Again, the longest part is going to be the embroidery, or, you know, however whatever you're putting on your shirt. And also, if you don't want to stitch through the letters how I just did, you can start or stop, do a back stitch and then start. I'm just going straight through. And then we're coming to that seam again. So I just want to make sure that is flat and that it goes through. Just kind of using that to guide it through. All right. And then do our back stitch. And that is that. And I'll find my thread. Oh, really? There was no thread. Thought I would have some thread to cut. And so now we have our top stitch, and then we're going to cut this part once we get back to the table. So this is how the front of it should be looking. And then you see I use black, so you can see that black thread there. And now this is how the back is going to look. All right, so I'm gonna finish this, do this other side right quick, and then I'll meet you back over at the table so I can show you the final step. Okay, so let's finish this up. Move my mighty hoop out the way. And this is how we're looking right now. Now, if your zipper is the correct size for your particular sweatshirt, you're done. That's it, that's all. In my case, I am going to have to cut it. So my zipper pull doesn't just fly off. So what I am going to do is just take a look here at my zippers, get my zipper stops ready, and I know exactly where I want to cut it. And so I'm going to just fold it back a little bit, and I'm trying to get in between the teeth. And so I'm going to cut it without cutting my shirt. And then this little piece is still sticking out, so I'm gonna just cut that down. And so cut that first one off. And then the second one, I'm gonna do the same thing. Just line it up, look for where I can cut in between the teeth. And right here looks good without cutting my sweater. All right, and then I'm going to, oh, my lighter's right here. Grab my lighter, and I'm just going to burn the ends after I get these threads off. Carefully, right where that zipper is. And I'm gonna just run my lighter over each side a couple times. Be very careful with this so you don't burn your shirt. Yes. Or, I mean, this isn't mandatory. It just kind of keeps your zipper from fraying, because these ends of the zipper can definitely fray. Or you can also kind of pull that sweater back a little bit and do it like that. Okay, so now I have to get my teeth on here, and actually I might need bigger ones. So I have all different sizes here, and those just seem like they might be a little bit too small for this particular zipper. So I I do have some that are a little bit bigger, so I think I'm gonna go with those. Let's see, so I think I'm gonna do silver. Yeah, so these are a little bit bigger. You know what, these are gold. I actually, let me see, I would prefer silver. Just trying not to mix the sizes up. Or did I already use? Yeah, I think I already used my silver. I mean my gold, or yeah, my silver, so I'm gonna have to go with gold. All right, so I am going to set it on there. Just like right at the top. And again, this just stops your zipper from flying off. And let me try these pliers first. And this is going to be very tedious, so just have a little bit of patience. It will come together sooner or later. I probably should have used my garment press, my rivet press. And I just want to make sure that's on there. And that is okay. So now I have it on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these to squeeze it tight. Okay, and so now that is on there, and then got to do the same with the other side. And so again, just kind of hold it up. And then let me use my pliers first, just so I can kind of hold it, press it in place, and then use these here pliers and make sure that is on there good, and it does look to be. And let's make sure my zipper doesn't come off, and it stops right at the top. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, these little stops here. Hopefully you can see those there. So it's just at the top. I mean, they do have bigger ones that you could take and, you know, cover the whole zipper. I just wanted just a little stop just so my zipper doesn't fly off. And then you would just zip it up. And that is how she looks. So you are all done. And then just try it on. And this is how it would look on. And if I would say, if you want it more baggy, more loose fitting, size up for what you would normally wear for your sweatshirts. But this is how it looks. So hopefully this tutorial answered all the questions that you had. And I do appreciate everybody reaching out to me. And I was like, okay, I can't explain this in every DM and every email. So I would just do a tutorial for you. I will have everything I use linked in the description box. And if you use my code for buy, you can get $100 off the purchase of your 15 needle embroidery machine. And this machine is a beast, from hats to flats to everything in between. It does it all, and it does it well. As well as my Mighty Hoops. You use my code with them and you will get free shipping on your order. And then I will have some links as well if you would like, for some zippers in the description box. But you can look on Amazon. You would just look for jacket zippers or separating zippers. I'm not sure if you can find them at Michael's. You might be able to find some at Walmart, but I'm not sure. Joann's used to have them, but Joann's is no longer with us. So you're probably going to have to order, especially like the two-tone color ones, you're going to have to order those online. But let me know if you have any questions. If you do, put them in the comments below, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Thanks so much for watching.